नमो अर्हन्ताणं नमो सिद्धाणं
Siddhartham
नमो आयर्याणं
Mohayaram
नमो
Moho
वज्रायाणं
Vajrayanam
नमो
Namo
लोये सवसाहुणम् तीन भुवन में सार वीतराग विज्ञानता शिव स्वरूप शिव का नमः त्रियोग संहार के. Very good everybody. Okay, so is Vinci here? I think not.
Jai Sunendra.
Jai Jinendra, Sachi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Perfectly all right. Okay. Now what to do? Okay, let's begin the class. We had already talked about Nigod Ekendriya in the verse number 4. In the verse number 4, we had already talked about Nigod and the Ekendriya. Then we had, seen verse number 5 as well. Now, verse number 5 talks about all the other Ekendriyas other than Nigod. So it starts from Ek Shwas Mein, then it goes to land, water, fire, air, and Pratyek Vanaspati is all the plants. So this is how we understood single sense beings, or the beings which have only one sensory organ. We have understood about them. Now we are actually heading towards the 2, 3, 4, and 5 sensory organ beings. So without further ado, I'll move on to this, and if there are any questions remaining, we'll talk about them a little later. We had seen this already, that the smallest state or stage of single sensory beings is 18 times in a breath. They die and rebirth. So this is what is their particular statistics, which is equal to one breath is equal to 0.762 seconds. So in one breath, 18 times they die and 18 times they live. So can somebody tell me the calculation that in one breath, if I ask you how many times, how many seconds is it going to take for the Nigodia Jeev, for this Nigodia Jeev to die one time? Can somebody tell me that? How many seconds is it going to take for this particular Nigodia Jeev to die once? Yes, Adi.
Less than
No. I want an exact
100
statistic.
seconds.
I want an exact statistic.
0.
The calculation can be done like this: 0.762 divided by 18. You need to.
It's 0.04. It's
You need to
0.04.
Yes. How much is it?
It's 0.04.
0.04. Okay. So 0.04 times it basically dies, and 0.04. Okay. Fine. Seconds. Yeah. 0.04 seconds. Fine. Thank you very much, everybody. Then we had talked about the miseries of this particular Nigodia Jeev. So it has endless wishes. I can give you a very small example to understand this. Like you might have seen a blind person, or you might have seen a person who doesn't has either a leg or a hand or something. So there's not quite difference between us and them. We both have equal amount of, maybe sometimes more amount of wishes than that particular. Like I might have lesser wishes than that particular person who's blind. So basically, I only want to say that the knowledge part and the wish part has no relation with one another. If you have less knowledge, you will have lesser wishes. That's not a formula we can draw from this. So knowledge can be less, but wishes can be more. So as the sooner you go at a stage where lesser senses are there, the more wishes you tend to have. The reason behind that is because you have lesser knowledge, you have more things to visit. Like, I can give you a small example of a patanga. What is that called? A light worm.
Fly.
A fly.
Not exactly a fly. It has a name, and I think I had mentioned it somewhere, but I'm missing it out right now.
Firefly.
Which fly?
Firefly.
I still cannot get it. Maybe I don't know that. But fine, now you got it. It's a light fly. You know
Glowworm.
that. Oh, it is a what?
Is it a glowworm?
Yeah. That one I'm talking about. No. No, that's not the one I'm talking about. I'm sorry. A glowworm has a bulb or a light fitted in its back. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a worm, a fly basically, which goes near to light because it likes light very
Oh,
much.
a moth. A moth.
Moth.
No.
Acha, okay,
Moth.
okay, everybody. Thank you very much for enlightening me. Moth, yes. So, moth, what is a moth? Basically, I wanted to give a small example of a moth. Despite knowing that the moth, whenever it goes near to the light, despite knowing the fact that it is warm enough for it to kill itself, but still it goes, which proves that its wishes are more than the knowledge it has. Are you trying to understand what I'm saying? The experience of, the heat can be done by it, but still it wishes to go near to it so that it, enjoys that particular heat. Yes, Veer?
So because it says endless wishes, wouldn't that be the number of wishes and not the strength? Because some people have a stronger desire to have one type of wish. So will that factor or
Yes,
not?
thank you. Thank you, Veer. Thank you very much. That's a very good evaluation. What Veer means to say is they have wishes which change very quickly. They do not have a wish which stays and goes for a long duration of time. The reason behind this is they do not have mind. Our mind keeps us on a particular wish for a very long duration of time, maybe a lifetime also. But with them, they do not have mind with them, so their these wishes are very short spanned, and they change very quickly. Thank you, Veer. Thank you for that evaluation. I'll ask maybe Vincy to talk to you about this. Maybe she'll get a better answer. Okay. So moving on, we had talked about Vanaspati, the fifth type of Ekendriya. It has two types, Pratyek and Sadharan. The Sadharan one is called as Nigodya, and the Pratyek one is covered in this particular verse. You can see it right here. Fine. Okay, I'll move on. Now we are going to talk about the sixth verse. It's an interesting one altogether. I'm muting you all so that your parents can listen to you in a better way than me. Yeah. So one line you have to recite after me. दुर्लभ लही जो चिंतामणि त्यों पर आय लही त्रस तणी लट पिपील आलि आदि शरीर धर धर मर्यो सही बहु पीर. Okay, we'll work on your pronunciation a little later, but let's figure this out. Durlabh lahijyon chinta mani. What does durlabh mean? A durlabh thing means, which is very rare. This word durlabh means rare. Chinta lahijyon, lahi means to have, jyon means like, and chintamani is a particular jewel which fulfills all your wishes. Okay, I'll recite it again. Durlabh means which is very rare. Lahi means to have. Jyon means like, and chintamani means a jewel which fulfills all your wishes. Okay, Ashi, okay, just nod your head. No, why? That's a fine. Yeah, okay. Tyon means in the same way. Paryay means modification, or particularly here it means a different state than the single sensory being. So other than single sensory being, that modification. Lahi means to have. Trasa. Now, trust is an important term. I'm going to talk about it in the next slide. So, what these two lines mean is, like, it is very difficult to have a jewel which fulfills all your wishes. In the same way, while you are living in the single sensory being state, it is very difficult to achieve a trust modification. Trust is more than one sensory being. Means a being having more than one sensory organ. Trust means a being which has more than one sensory organ. Clear? Sachi,
Yes.
clear? Okay. Thank you. So,
Yes.
like it is very difficult to have a jewel which can fulfill all your wishes. In the same way, it is absolutely rare or difficult to have a state of being where you have more than one sensory organs. Okay. Now let's look at the examples of more than one sensory organ. Okay, the first is two sensory organs, and the example mentioned here is lut. For three sensory organ, the example is given as pipil. For four sensory organ, the example is given as ali. Adi means etc. Sharir means the body. Yeah. Dhar, lat pipir ali adi sharir. Dhar dhar maryo sahi bahupir. Dhar means to live in a particular state. Dhar means to have a particular body. Maryo means died. Sahi means, experienced. Bahu means a lot. Peer matlab pain. Just a second, Adi. Let me finish this line. Lat means 2 sensory organ being. Pipil means
Okay.
3 sensory organ being. Ali means 4 sensory organ being. Adi means etc. And Sharir means body. Clear so far?
Yeah.
Dhar means we have taken that body. So dhar means to have that body. Mario means we had died. We took them and then we died. We took them and then we died. Sahi means we had experienced. Bahu means a lot, extreme. Peer matlab pain. Sachi, fine?
Yes.
So overall, what it means, just a second, Arav. So overall, where did my, yeah. Overall, what these lines are trying to tell us is like uh, mm, a jewel which can fulfill all our wishes. It is extremely rare to have a trus paryay, a trus modification. The examples of these trus modifications is 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, and 5 sensory organs. We had taken these and left them, and we have experienced extreme amount of pain because of it. Yes, Arav.
What means dhar?
Dhar means to have.
Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. So basically, we have this soul. We are soul, and the body changes in every soul. So dhar here means that we have changed. We have taken birth in a lot of different bodies, like 2 sensory organ being, 3 sensory organ being, 4 sensory organ being, 5 sensory organ beings. We have taken birth in them, so that is called dhar. And then we had died in it, that is called as Mario. And Sahi means we have experienced a lot of pain because of it. Let's see what the slide is trying to tell us. I'd ask Veer to please recite this slide, please. I mean, read it. Sorry. Yeah.
Thus, beings with more than one sensory organ. As Chintamani, jewel, wish fulfilling jewel, is very rare to find. In the same way, it's very rare to get trust form of being.
Okay. So quite easy to understand. The first line talks about what is thrust. So it is beings with more than one sense. This is equivalent like, a jewel which can fulfill all your wishes. As that jewel is very difficult to find, in the same way, thrust paryay is also very difficult to find. In the same way, this is what we had seen in this particular verse. Okay. Next is the beings are of 2 types. We had already seen the, one sensory organ being chart. Do you have that chart with you, everybody? Can you show it to me on the screen? Whosoever has it. The chart which we had made yesterday. Okay. Okay. Good. Very good. Very nice, Sachi. Very nice, Adi. Oh my God. That's a good one. It's clear. Thank you, Adi. Okay. So that particular chart was of the sthavar. That particular chart was of the sthavar. Now we are talking about a greater, classification. So if I make this classification, Jeev, if I make this classification, Jeev, there are 2 types of Jeev, Tras and Sthavar. So what you need to do is, wherever you have made this Sthavar thing, right besides it, write down Tras, and those both will be a categorization of Jeev. So you just have to make small changes in your chart. The chart was talking about sthavar. Equivalent to sthavar, there is another type of being, that is tras, and both of them when merged together, these are called as jeev. Okay, so the chart will become like this: jeev, sthavar, tras. Then sthavar will have all these types of categorizations, whichever we had talked yesterday. Clear, Sachi?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'll say it once again. The broader category will be jeev. In that there are two types, tras and sthavar. The chart which we had prepared yesterday will be used for sthavar, and now we are talking about tras. So below tras, you need to make four bifurcations, four differences, four different lines. The first one is two sensory being. Second one is three sensory being. Third one is four sensory being, and the fifth one is five sensory being. Done? I'll say it again. Jeev, two types, tras and sthavar. Tras, again, four types, two sensory being, three sensory being, four sensory organ being, and five sensory organ being. And the sthavar is what we have understood yesterday. Done? Okay,
Yes.
done. So this is what this particular slide talks about, that tras and sthavar. Tras are those organs, those beings which have more than one sensory organ, and sthavar is which have only one sensory organ. I'll make a chart maybe some other time and send it to you on this particular group that we have on WhatsApp. Okay. Now the types of tras. So there are these four types of tras: beings with two senses, beings with three senses, beings with four senses, and beings with five senses. Look at the category very carefully. We had seen the word lut in the third line of the verse, right? There was a word lut in the third line of the verse. What does it say? Lut means caterpillars. We all know what are caterpillars?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just going to, read out the names. If you do not know any one of the category of the, animals or beings, you just tell me. I'll try my best to make you understand that. So beings with two senses is caterpillars, worms, snails, seashells, and leeches. Beings with three senses are pipil. Pipil was the word which was written in the verse, in the third line, second verse. So pipil is nothing but ants. So lice, bugs, scorpion, ants, these are all the types of three sense organs, or three sensory organ beings. The third one is beings with, yes, Adi? Something? No, nothing?
Sir.
Okay. Beings with four senses is Ali. Ali means a bee, which is called madhumakhi in Hindi. Ali is bees. Mosquitoes, flies, moths are all the types of it. And then there are beings with five senses. Beings with five senses are again categorized in different ways. We are going to talk about that categorization a little later. Basically, we have mentioned here rats, cats, heavenly being, hellish beings, and Arhant as well. We all know what Arhant is, right? We all know Arhant Parmeshthi. So Arhant Parmeshthi is also a type of tras. It is a type of tras which has five senses with mind. Okay. let's move on, and we are going to talk about the verse number 7. We are talking about the miseries of 5 sensory organ beings. Okay. Okay. Again, I am muting you all. You just have to recite it after me, one line at a time. Kabahun panchendriya pashu bhayo मन बिन निपट अज्ञानी थयो. Whenever I am reading, please make it a point that you look at the words, because it is going to be very difficult for you to repeat if you do not look at what I'm saying and which word am I the pronunciation of each word. Okay. What was the rhythm? Okay. Sihadik seni ve krura. निबल पशु हति खाए भूर. Very good, everybody. Okay, let's talk about every word, whatever this verse is trying to tell us. Kabahu. Kabahu means if ever, at all, might. Panchendriya, panch indriya, 5 sense. Pashu means an animal. Bhayo means had been. Mana means the mind. Bina means without. So without mind. Nipat. Nipat means an ignorant. Ajnani is also the same word for it. Nipat means complete. Nipat means complete, completely. I don't know what's wrong with me. Nipat means completely. Ajnani means ignorant. Thayo means had been. So these two lines are telling us, if ever, with a lot of grace or with a lot of luck, if ever I got into this 5 sensory organ being, I became an animal without mind, and hence I was absolutely, completely ignorant at that particular moment of time. Clear? Okay. Then the second line, the third line, what it says is Sihadik. Sih means a lion, Adik means etc. So lion, etc. Seni means with mind. Where means had been. Krur means krur means
Cruel?
cruel. Yeah, cruel. Thank you. I sometimes miss words. Okay. Nibal. Nibal means without power, without without having the ability to overpower others. Pashu is again animal. Hati means to kill it, to destroy it. Khaye means have eaten them. Bhur, lots and lots of it. So the last two lines, they say that whenever I got a chance of becoming an animal which has a lot of power, like an animal, like a lion, at that moment of time I chose to kill others and eat them so that I can fulfill my stomach. Okay? Okay?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'll say it once again as my time is getting up, so I'm still trying to get you this one. Kabahu, if ever, Panchendriya means 5 sensory organ being, Pashu means an animal, Bhayo means had been, Mana bin, without man, witut mind, Nipat means absolutely, absolutely or completely, Agyani means ignorant, Thayo means had been. Sihadik. Now this was one case. The first case was without mind. The second case is with mind. So if at all I became an animal with mind, Seni means with mind, I became a lion, like lion, Sihadik. And at that time I was so cruel that I used to eat Nibal Pashu, those animals which are helpless. I, killed them and ate them. This is what it means by this particular verse. Let's see what the verse has to say. And I would request Ashi to please recite, please read this particular slide. Go ahead, please.
If ever became a being with 5 sense organs, it remained unhappy in the absence of mind, psyche. After being a 5 sense organism with mind, psyche, it became too cruel that it killed and ate several helpless beings.
So are the both sentences quite clear to everybody? The first sentence said that in the absence of mind, I was absolutely unhappy, with the things around. Because I did not had mind, I was very unhappy about it. But if I got mind, I became too cruel and started killing others. Yes, Adi?
What does psyche mean?
Psych means, have you ever heard about psychology?
Yes.
Psychology is a study of mind, a study of mental behavior. So mind is another word for psych. They are synonyms. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Now go back to your chart. Now in that chart, we had seen Jeev as the most broader classification. Now that was divided into 2, Tras and Sthavar. The Tras was further divided into 4. 2 sensory organ, 3 sensory organ being, 4 sensory organ being, and 5 sensory organ being. Now this 5 sensory organ being is further divided into 2. This 5 sensory organ being is further divided into 2, Seni and Aseni. Seni means with mind and Aseni means without mind. Is it fine, Veer? Yeah, I got it. Thank you. I'll go and ask somebody else. Javish is there with us? No. Yes. Javish, do you comply?
Sorry?
Are you there with me? Are you understanding what I'm saying?
Yes.
Have you prepared a chart? Yes. Okay. Let's go. I'll say it once again. The charts talked about Jiva as the most broader bifurcation. It is then divided into Tras and Sthavar. The Tras is then divided into 4. 2 sensory organ being, 3 sensory organ being, 4 sensory organ being, and 5 sensory organ being. This 5 sensory organ being is further divided into 2. The first one is without mind and the second one is with mind. Fine, everybody? Okay. So I do not have actual examples for this particular without mind organ being, because it's quite a mixed aspect. Some snakes have mind, some snakes do not have mind. Some frogs have mind, some frogs do not have mind. Some what else? Classification.
Fish.
Fishes, yes, very good. Some fishes have mind, some fishes don't. So this is how that can be categorized. So again, the words are still going to be the same. You just have to understand that these are still of two types. Okay, let's move on. So what is mind? Mind is something which helps you differentiate between good or bad. So this is also a very good point which can help you bifurcate, even though we have lesser knowledge, even though we, not us, I mean to say Ekendriya, even though the Ekendriya has lesser knowledge, but basically it does not has the ability to bifurcate or understand or differentiate between good or bad. It keeps on doing what it does, and because of which it has to suffer a lot of unhappiness and extreme amount of wishes which cannot be fulfilled because it doesn't has the mind. And the second thing is, it the mind allows us to have the knowledge and to understand the teachings, like all of us. I'm trying to teach you, you are trying to learn from me. So this particular aspect can happen with those beings which have mind. If you try teaching an ant that you should not take this path, it is not going to listen to you. It will go by the same path only. You ask a fly not to come near you and go away from you, it is definitely not going to listen to you. It will still come, like mosquitoes. But we are very good beings, so we do not kill them. But some people think that these are very unnecessary kind of beings on the planet, and they start killing them. Mosquitoes or any other, you might have seen a lot of things near you, like mosquito repellents or those rackets or something. But fine, whatever it is. So this is what is mind. So I hope you understood what mind is. The one that helps you to differentiate between good and bad, and which helps you learn new things and go about it. So this is where I end this particular class. I'm very sorry that I could not complete the syllabus that I was destined for. I had to finish this particular verse also, but I think we can cover that some other time if we continue learning together. So I request all of you, in case if you have any questions, I have a minute to answer.
You know how last time
Sorry?
Last time you said that you would answer my question that how if a person has infinite wishes, how do they do it in one breath?
If they have infinite wishes,